Well, good morning. Whether you're watching online or in the sanctuary, welcome to our service from Northwest Barrie United Church on a spring Sunday morning. Intergenerational service, a lot going on. After the service, please join for a time of fellowship and refreshments in West Hennial Hall, along with a bake sale, I think. We're going to begin the service with one of my favorites. It's number 646 in Voices United, We Are Marching. The first time through, we're going to sing it in English. Second time through, we're going to hear your Swahili. And then we're going to break. And then we'll sing it again through in English.
I put it together right here.
Take a moment and greet your neighbors.
morning, everyone. And I too am happy to welcome you. What a great start. Love having our drummers here and so much enthusiasm in the greeting time. I figured we could just greet for an hour and then go home. So it's nice to see so much enthusiasm in the church today. As Steve said, it is a special service, so we're glad that you are here for it. We'll explain more in a little bit. We always like to begin by saying good morning to anybody who's visiting or maybe here for the first time. Or if you're celebrating today, we'd love to know what or who you are celebrating. Andrea.
I just wanted to let everyone know that we passed her lifeguard exams this week. So she's an official lifeguard, and Jack has his bronze medallion, so he's working his way through the first courses.
So Avery and Jack, stand up for a second. So look in here, Avery passed her qualification to become a lifeguard, and Jack passed bronze medallion. So that's an amazing achievement. Congratulations. Anybody else? Is there a hand in the back? Is that you? Okay. Well, I'd like to say very happy birthday to my son, Mike, who is turning 25 today. So I can't believe it. There's a 0.1 chance he's watching, but anyway. Happy birthday to Mike. I know there's a couple of important announcements. I'd like to invite those who have them to please come forward.
Good morning. After the service, there is a bake sale ready for all of you. There's lots of goodies and treats and yummy stuff. Everything's going to be by donation, so whatever you have, we're happy to take. And we'll accept cash, and we also have a debit machine. All the proceeds from this will go towards the youth group spring trip to Collingwood in May. Thank you.
My name is Steve Thompson, and I'm representing finance a bit this morning. And we're putting out a call for a few volunteers to help us with the Sunday collections. Now, often you'll see two people come up after the collection's been taken and the blessing is done, and then they head off to the office. And what happens there is an important part in the financial health of the church. The collection is counted, the deposit is made, and then taken to the bank, because we don't really like to leave money sitting here in the church when there's no one around. So we're looking for a few people to join the group. It's a great group of people. We do have some fun when we're counting the money. And if you are interested, please see me after the service, or you can contact Catherine in the office. Thanks very much.
I know we can count on you to come through with that. Just a couple of other announcements before we continue. Next week begins what we call our Easter cycle. So next Sunday is Palm Sunday, believe it or not. So on Palm Sunday we have communion, we have our Palm Parade. It's always a great celebration Sunday. So we hope you'll join us for Palm Sunday. Following that, on April the 3rd, we have our Good Friday service at 10:30. And I say it every year, I'm going to say it again. You will enjoy Easter Sunday way more if you actually come to Good Friday ahead of time. So Good Friday is 10:30, and then Easter Sunday we have a sunrise service at 7 o'clock down at the waterfront, and then our regular 10:25 service, Easter service here. We hope you'll join us. Following that service, we have our Festival of Chocolate. So if you're new to the church, you don't want to miss this. We invite everybody who is willing and able to bring in something chocolatey on Easter Sunday. Maybe it's a dozen brownies or a few cookies or whatever it might be. We put them all out on the table, and then we gorge ourselves after the service. So we hope you'll be there and bring some chocolate. I just want to take a moment to kind of explain what this morning is all about, kind of put it in context, especially again for some of our newer members. Back in the earlier days of our church, I call them BC, or before COVID, we had a very big Sunday school, and there were weeks here, for those who go back that far, we'd have 30 or 40 kids on a Sunday. And so once a season, we would have an intergenerational service, a chance for the kids to stay in the service and help lead it, recognizing that we are a community of all ages and all stages of life. And thus it's important every so often for all of us to be together in the same place and share what we bring to worship. And then, of course, COVID came, and for a few months we couldn't meet as a regular community, let alone have special services. The other thing that COVID affected was our Sunday school membership. Young families have a lot on their plates to begin with. We all know that. You take church out of the mix for 2 years, and that space quickly gets filled up with other things. So our 30 or 40 kids a week turned into 6, 7, 8 kids a week. Now COVID is in the rearview mirror, and the pandemic, at least as we hope, is over. We're starting to rebuild our congregation, and that means really focusing on rebuilding our children and our youth programming. Because let's face it, we are nailing it in the over 65 category, right? All of you came rushing back after COVID, and I'm so glad that you did. There's no problems there. So we're really pleased to begin to be seeing some new life in our Sunday school and nursery and our youth programs. It's slow, but it's happening. Cheryl and Sherry and Sharon, that's funny. Cheryl and Sherry and Sharon are doing amazing things with our kids and our youth, some of which you're going to see this morning. So we want to start reintroducing these intergenerational service just 2 or 3 times a year so that we can connect with everybody in our congregation. So we're inviting all of our kids today, whether you're taking part or not, you're just going to stay in church and we're all going to have a service together. Here's what you can expect. Lots of music, and we welcome our drumming group. And Dave, good to have you here as well. We're going to have a special presentation from our kids. It's going to be a different kind of message because it's going to be for everybody today, not your classic sermon. And the theme, of course, is the theme that's guided us through the last 9 Sundays, the fruits of the Spirit. So today is about sort of celebrating all that we've studied together over the last 9 weeks, but even more so, what we're hoping to create today is a joyful and enthusiastic spirit to celebrate who we are as a community. Most of our prayers and readings today are going to be done by our youth. So we're going to begin by inviting Jack Jones to come up. He's going to read our lighting of the candle reading, and then he'll light our candle for us.
We gather. We bring our sorrows, our disappointments, our failures. We gather for healing, for laughter, and to rejoice. We gather to find new ways of loving, new ways of thinking, new ways of being. We gather. Yes, always we gather, for it is in gathering that we find our hope.
And while Jack is lighting the candle, I'd like to invite Trinity to come up and do our call to worship. Thanks, Jack.
Welcome to worship on this first Sunday of spring.
We gather ready to experience
Signs of hope coming around us. We gather as a family, adults and children, neighbors and first-timers, newcomers and old friends, those in church and those watching online. All are welcome.
May this hour inspire our living as we embrace the message of the gospel, which is and always will be.
God is love.
Let us lift our voices in song and open our hearts in faith.
Our opening hymn is Draw the Circle Wide.
Yours
I'd like to invite Jane to come up and do our opening prayer.
God of hope and new life, we thank you for blessing this day. We thank you that we can share this hour together as a family of faith. We are a family, brought together by our shared beliefs that we can make a difference in this world. As we are reminded today of the fruits of the Spirit, may we commit again to living lives of joy, peace, generosity, faithfulness, patience, love, gentleness, and kindness. May this service be a blessing to us, and may we be a blessing to each other. Amen.
Right there. And then next, you come right front and center. Avery, come
I'm hoping I'm not blocking anyone's line of sight.
Dougie, you're good.
Okay. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Right up here. Right in here. I am the way I am.
You are. You're Dougie. I wouldn't want you.
Bless you. Oh.
Thank you to our choir. Thanks to our kids. Thanks to our drummers. That piece of music that you sang and that we listened to was written by Daniel. So where's Daniel? Anyways, Daniel, that was really great. I'm now going to invite Cheryl to come up, and we're going to have a presentation about the fruits of the Spirit. Just have to hold it up to the exit.
Good morning, sorry. Just gonna take us a minute here.
Jim, can you put the microphone on? The handheld?
We're good? We're on. Okay, good morning. Thank you for your patience here. Just took us a minute to get organized. My name is Cheryl. I'm the Sunday school coordinator of these amazing children and youth here. It has been an amazing 9 weeks of learning, laughter, and fun as we explored God's fruits of the Spirit together. Through music, stories, games, crafts, yoga, discussions, and even a little science, we discovered joyful and meaningful ways to live out these fruits of our everyday lives as we follow God. We're so grateful for the enthusiasm, curiosity, and kindness that all of our children and youth have shared along the way. Today, we would like to celebrate by sharing a little of what we have learned over these past 9 weeks. And please feel free to join us in our cheer.
Give me some love!
Love!
Give me some joy!
Joy!
Give me some peace!
Peace!
Give me some patience!
Patience!
Give me some kindness!
Kindness!
Give me some generosity!
Generosity!
Give me some faithfulness!
Faithfulness!
Give me some gentleness!
Gentleness!
Give me some self-control!
Self-control!
What do we have?
Fruit of the Spirit! Now we're just going to share a little bit about what we learned, and these are the words of the children and the youth about what we learned each Sunday.
True love means wanting people we love to be happy. We love our families, our pets, our friends. We can show people we love them by being nice to them, helping them, making something for them. We feel joy with our favorite foods, our favorite sports, our family, our friends, our pets, and playing video games.
Peace begins with a smile. Try giving one away and see what happens. All that matters is that you are happy. Don't let anything in the world take that away from you. Keep peace in your heart.
She might need help eating.
It's okay. Sometimes good things come from waiting. It is good to practice patience. One time our power went out and we just went and got an orange flashlight. Patience is a superpower.
Kindness is contagious. Kindness doesn't need to cost anything. We need to be kind to ourselves. Listening can be kind, but not always easy.
Thanks. Generosity means helping in any way we can to help others. We can also be generous to ourselves too. We can give our time and we can give our love. Here you go.
Faith is coming to church because it is my favorite place to be. Faith is trusting in God. Faith is trusting in ourselves. Faith is trusting in others. Faith is not giving up.
Generosity. We can use pom-poms, words with others and ourselves. Use gentle words on ourselves too. It can take strength to be gentle.
Self-control. Trust God to help us to do what's right. It takes a long time to grow self-control. It takes practice. We can belly breath to calm our bodies.
Thank you very much. Now we are ready to go out and live by the fruits of the Spirit.
Thank you for the presentation. And one of the exciting things that we're starting to do is making sure that what we are learning and talking about in the sanctuary on Sunday is what our kids here and sometimes even our kids in the nursery are learning about as well. So we're learning about them as an entire church. Our youth this morning are also going to be taking up our offering, so be gentle with them. And let us now continue to worship God as we present and dedicate our morning offering. grateful for the gathering of our church together in worship. We're grateful that we can all gather as a family of faith. May you continue to bless the ministry of this church as we reach out to one another in our community and in our world. May you bless these gifts and those who give them in your name. Amen. And I'd like to invite Carmen to come forward, who's going to do our scripture reading. That's good. Thank you.
That was Carmen's dad's favorite hymn, and we didn't expect that to come on. And he's passed away, so I'm a little emotional myself. A reading from Matthew chapter 7. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are like hungry wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Are grapes gathered from thorns or figs from thistles? In the same way, every good tree bears good fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit. Thus, you will know the health of a tree by its fruits. And the second reading is from Galatians chapter 5. For you have been called to freedom, brothers and sisters. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity to self-indulgence, but through love become servants to one another. For the whole law is summarized in one commandment. You shall love your neighbor as you love yourself. And know the fruits of the Spirit, which are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. If we live by the Spirit, let us be guided by the Spirit.
We don't have the song between? Oh, okay. Just give me a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. So, I challenged the kids and the youth to step outside their comfort zone this morning and come up and do some of the readings and the call to worship. So I figured what I ask of others, I should ask of myself. So I am stepping out of my comfort zone. That's my comfort zone, the pulpit. And I might step back in there in a minute, so don't be surprised. And instead of talking from my notes today, I'm going to sort of ad-lib a little bit, or talk without my notes today. Although I do have a cheat sheet here. So bear with me. And for all the kids today, I'm going to invite you to stay up. I hope some of what we're going to do when I talk for the next few minutes that you'll get, but enjoy it anyways, and we'll all get through this together. We've been talking about the fruits of the Spirit, of course, for the last 9 weeks, and wonderful presentation here today. There's a question I've been wanting to ask for the last 9 weeks. What is everybody's favorite fruit? I especially want to ask that today of everybody, but even the kids today. Let's just take 2 minutes. Tell me your favorite fruit, and maybe you even know why. Yes, ma'am, right in the back. Watermelon. Malcolm. Pardon? Mango. Exotic. Yes, sir. Cherries. Kiwis.
Dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit. Never tried that. I always look at the store and it scares me, so I never buy it. Henry. Strawberries? Anybody else? Another one, blueberries. Pineapple. Strawberries. Bob, oranges. Peaches. Grapes. Oh, they're coming fast and furious. Banana.
Blueberries for Keon.
Blueberries. Okay, let's switch it around now. Are there any fruits you really do not like? Oranges? Tomatoes. Good one. Blueberries? So, you know Steve in the choir, the tall guy at the back there, Steve and I don't like the same fruit. You still don't like it? Okay. We don't like strawberries. I know. It's weird because I like strawberry pie, and I like strawberry ice cream, I like strawberry Pop-Tarts, but I don't like strawberries themselves. And I think it's because they have stubble on them. I don't know about you, don't like them, but stubble shouldn't be on fruit. They should be on faces, not on fruit. Yes, sir? You got it, right? So anyways, yes, Jane? Avocados? They're not fruit, are they? They are. You guys are too smart for me. Last one, Nancy. Lemons. So anyways, I have a friend, Stephanie, and some of you have met Stephanie because she's actually spoken here a couple of years ago. She's a dietitian. She spoke at a conference we had. And she lives in Guelph, originally from New Brunswick, and I know she watches every Sunday. I know she's watching this Sunday. So when I knew we were talking about fruits, I sent her a text and I said, what is the healthiest fruit that you can eat? She texted me back and said, well, it's just my opinion. She said there's lots of different opinions, but she said there's one fruit she eats every day, filled with nutrients, filled with good things, filled with things that are anti-inflammatories. Any guesses as to what, according to her, is the best fruit you can eat every day? Blueberries. She says blueberries are amazing. Anyway, we can all agree, I think, for the most part, that fruit is good and it's healthy. And that's why we're going to talk about it in a moment. But first, can I start off with a joke? I test drove this joke with our friends at the Waterford this week, so they're going to hear it twice. And they laughed, so I think it's an okay joke. Woman is going through a park, and she sees a good-looking guy sitting on a park bench. And he's reading a book, and he's eating something out of a Tupperware container. She looks at him for a moment, and she goes over to him, and she goes, I hope I'm not being too forward, but would you like to go and get a cup of coffee sometime? He says, well, what do you think we'd have in common? She said, well, first of all, you're wearing a Rolling Stones t-shirt. They're my favorite band. I saw them in 2010 in London. He said, that's amazing. They're my favorite band, too. I was at that exact same concert. She says, incredible. And you're reading Mark Twain. I was an English major in school. Mark Twain was my favorite author. He goes, that's amazing. I was an English major as well. I did my whole thesis on Mark Twain. And she goes, and to make it even better, you're eating prunes. And they're my favorite fruit. My grandfather had a farm, and he grew plum trees, and he would dry the plums, and we would eat prunes. She goes, I can't believe it. So many things in common. What do you say? Can we get together? Reaches down, holds up the fruit, and says, it's a date. Now that probably went over the head of a lot of our kids today, so I got one more for you. What is Batman's favorite fruit? Banana. Anyway, let's get to this. We've been talking about the fruit of the spirits for the last 9 weeks, and I think it's maybe been a little bit confusing, especially to some of our kids, because you came up here every Sunday, and we would talk about fruits. And first of all, thanks to Sherry for putting all the fruits on the window. But we talked about strawberries and plums and lemons and cherries, but we weren't really talking about those things. We were talking about the words that were on those fruits. So we were actually talking about gentleness and patience and peace. We just arbitrarily put fruit with them. So why do we link those fruits up with those words? Well, because in the Bible, those characteristics are referred to as the fruits of the Spirit. So that's why we brought those two together. So why do you think the Bible would refer to them as the fruits of the Spirit? I think that there's a couple of reasons. First of all, fruit is good for us. It's healthy. It gives us healthy bodies. And these characteristics are good for us as well. They give us healthy spirits. So it makes sense that those two will be brought together. But I think there's another reason. I want to ask you, think about this for a second. Can fruit produce trees? No. It's the trees that produce the fruit. So good trees produce good fruit. So I can't help but wonder if Paul, who wrote these in the Bible, was saying that the fruit are actually the results of having a good, strong tree. And that this is what is actually really important. If you have a strong tree, you create good fruits. So what is the key to having a strong tree? having good roots. The roots get down into the soil and they suck up all that good stuff out of the soil and take it through the branches, and it turns into these wonderful fruits. So really, having a good tree means having good roots. And to me, it's the same with us. We're the tree. Having a good life, a life that produces these kind of fruits, means having good, solid roots. And that's what I want to talk about for about 10 minutes this morning. Ed, set your clock. 10 minutes. We're out of here. Ed's my timekeeper. But I want to talk about 3 roots. Now, we could pick all kinds of roots that would lead to a really good, solid life. I picked just 3 today, and I made them very simple, so hopefully everybody today, whatever age you're at, can take something away from this. So I'm going to need a little help putting the roots on one at a time. So let's talk about one root at a time. My first root is the root of love. Who wants to put this on the tree for me? Okay, Jessica, come on down. Thank you kindly. So where does the root go? What part of the tree? Right on the bottom. Just stick that on the bottom. Perfect. Oh, that's okay. There we go. Thank you. So as far as I'm concerned, love is the most important quality in our faith. Everything begins and ends with love. As Kathleen read today, love is the first and last of all commandments. Everything in our faith comes back to love. I want to ask, especially all our young people this morning, who do you love? Think about that. Who do you love in your life? Anybody want to share? Who do you love? Who do you love? Who do you love? Trinity? Your family. Jack? Pardon? Okay, I don't even know what that is. Dog! Jessica, who do you love?
My cat, my grandma.
Okay. Your cat, your grandma, we have lots. Dougie?
My friends.
Your friends. Right, okay. So Jane? The church. Thanks, Jane. So those relationships of love are the most important thing that we can. Henry, do you have an answer? You love your stuffed animal. Love it. So love is really, really important. When those people that we love, and I'm speaking specifically of people, although our animals and pets are important too, but those people that we love, they give us a foundation in life. They give us roots. They make us feel secure in life. I was trying to think of a good image for what the people that we love are like, and I came up with this. Can you put the next slide up? There's an island. Look at that island there. Doesn't that look beautiful? In the middle of all that water. I want you to think for a moment that the people that you love are like that island. Okay? So you are on that safe little island with the people that you love. But as you're on that island, you look out and you see all the water around you that you want to explore. And you see distant shorelines that maybe you want to go to and discover. But you're nice and safe and secure on that island. But eventually you decide you're going to explore. So you get in your canoe and you canoe out for a little bit. You kind of look back, you look back, you look back. And then you run back to that island. Whew. The next time, you go a little further. And you look back, and you explore, and you go back to your island. And maybe one day you're going to get so far to a distant shore that you're going to lose sight of your island. You're not going to even see that it's there. But you know what? It's there. That's what the people we love are. They're the islands in our life. It means that wherever we go, whatever we do, we always have those people that we can come back to. They are our islands. But not only are we called to love the people in our own circle, on our own islands, but our Bible tells us to love strangers, neighbors, even people that we disagree with. That's the challenging part of love. So how do we do this? Somebody told me this a while ago, and I thought this was really wise. They said every single person has within them a 3-year-old. Think about it. Even if you're 95, 55, 35, 25, you have in yourself a 3-year-old. Think about what you were like when you were 3 years old. When you were 3 years old, the world looks big and scary. When you're 57, the world looks big and scary. But it looks even bigger and scarier when you're 3 years old. So what does a 3-year-old need to thrive and survive in the world? They need love, they need security, they need kindness. When you give that to a 3-year-old, they're going to be okay. What happens is that we grow up and we start getting different ideas. We develop different political ideas or religious ideas. We start looking at people who look differently from us, whose skin is a different color than us, who might love people differently than we would love. And we think to ourselves, well, I don't think I can really relate to that person. I don't understand that person. I'm much happier in my circle with the people that I know. But we're called to love even outside of our own circles. So you know how we do that? We try and look at that 3-year-old person in that other person. Because even in the person who looks differently than us, acts different than us, maybe lives in a different place than us, they still have within them that 3-year-old. And that 3-year-old wants exactly the same thing that the 3-year-old in you still wants. It doesn't matter how old we are, how successful we are, where we are, we all want to be loved, to feel secure, and to have kindness. And so when we look at others, that's how I try and, that's what I try and do. And I challenge you to try and do it as well. Maybe you look at somebody and think, I don't think I can get along with that person, or I may disagree with that person. Try and see in that person that 3-year-old and relate to them through love. Helps to make that bond a little better. Okay, enough for love. Let's go with the second root. Brooklyn, do you help me with this one? Come on up. The second root is hope. So we need a life of love. We need a life of hope. Stick that right beside it. Thank you. So what is hope? Hope, to me, is a belief that things can always get better. It's staying positive. It's looking to the horizon. It's a belief that things might be not so great now, but you know what? Things can always get better. I have a prop. I have a toothbrush. How many people brushed their teeth this morning before they came to church? Be honest. How many people will brush their teeth tonight before they go to bed? How many people brush their teeth right in the middle of the day? Oh, a few people. Okay. So we brush our teeth. I want to ask one of our young people today, what would happen if you never brushed your teeth any day ever? What would happen? Dougie?
Your teeth would rot and fall out.
You got it. Your teeth would turn a funny color, and then they would decay, and they would rot, and then they would eventually fall out. So it's really important that you brush your teeth every day. We know that. To me, hope is like a toothbrush. Hope is something that we have to carry with us every single day. Because when we lose hope, it's kind of like not having a toothbrush or brushing our teeth. Eventually, our spiritual life begins to decay and rot. We always need to have hope that things are better. What that means is that a bad day does not mean it's a bad week, does not mean it's a bad year, does not mean it's a bad life. I'm also convinced that oftentimes when we say we're having a bad day, we're not really having a bad day. We had a bad thing happen in an otherwise good day. Think about this. You get up in the morning and you stub your toe. That hurts, right? You go into the kitchen and you get your coffee or your juice and you spill it on the counter. Oh, right? You get in your car and you go to work or you go to school, somebody drives you to school, and you hit every single red light. And you get to where you're going to be, and somebody says, how are you today? And what do you say? I'm having a bad day. All right. Are you having a bad day? Or do you have 3 bad things happen to you that day? Yes, you stubbed your toe. But you still got out of bed. You're still moving. That's a good thing. Yes, you spilled your coffee or your juice. But that piece of toast that you made was just perfect. And yes, maybe you caught every single red light on the way to school or work, but think of the nice conversation that you had with somebody in the car, or all that extra music that you got to listen to, or podcasts on the way. I'm convinced that sometimes bad days are just bad moments that happen in otherwise good days. It all comes down to what you were focused on, what you were looking for. And I'm convinced that when we keep focused on the positive, when we try to see the good things, because there's so many good things, it begins to develop these kind of qualities. Let me tell you how I understand hope right now at this time of year. Can we agree that we've had a bad winter? Can we agree maybe the worst winter that we've had in Barrie for a long, long time? I think so. You know how I think of the month of March? I think of it as a battlefield. And on this battlefield, winter and spring are fighting it out. That's what I think of March every single year. Remember a couple weeks ago, the sun came out and the temperature warmed up and the snow began to melt. Some people said they saw their first robin. I'm a little skeptical, but some people said they saw their first. Anybody see a robin already? Yeah. All right, okay. You convinced me. And it was like spring is here, right? And didn't it feel good to be in that warmth? It was like spring is finally coming. Then what happened? Winter came, whoosh, rushing back onto that battlefield and pushed spring right off that battlefield. And the snow came down and the temperature went down and we had to start scraping our windows again. Remember that? And now what's going to happen? Spring is going to come back for a little bit. And then winter's going to push back. And spring and winter and spring and winter. And this is the month of March. This is what March is like. But here's the question. Who wins in the end? Spring. Spring always wins. Spring has won every single battle in every single March, sometimes April, since the very beginning of time. Right? That's what hope is. Hope is believing that spring will always have the last word. It means, yes, we can have tough times. Yes, we can have tough days. But stay focused on what is positive and good, because there's far more good things than others. I'm almost out of water. Okay, got one more. Who wants to help me out? Malcolm, come on up. Our last quality is faith. Stuck it there. Awesome, thank you. The root of faith. What is faith? Faith is many things. One thing faith is believing in things that we cannot see. We can't see them, but we still believe them. Let me give you an example. To all the kids today, let's say you're finished hockey practice or dance practice, or maybe you're waiting at school. And you're waiting for your mom or your dad or your grandma or grandpa or whoever's picking you up to come and pick you up, but you don't see them. But you know they're coming because they always come. That's faith. Or let's say you want to plug in your phone, right? And so you find those little holes in the wall and you plug your phone in. You can't see what's in that wall. It's filled with energy. You can't see energy, but you know it's there. That's faith. Do people fly kites anymore? I never see people flying kites anymore. But you take a kite out, right? And you can't see the wind, but you put the kite up and the kite flies. Well, that in a lot of ways is kind of like faith as well. Faith is believing in the things that we cannot see. And what we believe about that, we also believe about God. You know, one of the great things I love about the United Church, we don't tell you how to believe in God. We don't tell you what you have to believe about God. We'll give you some ideas. You can think about it. You can agree or disagree. But we all have our own ideas. But I think that one of the things that brings us together as people of faith is that at some level, in some way, we believe in the other. We believe in God, however we may perceive God to be. And we're all here to hopefully find a little bit more about what God is all about on our faith journey. So I want to tell you one of my favorite parables about God. And I've shared it before, so some of you may remember it. And I shared it at the Waterford a couple of months ago, so they're thinking, oh, here he goes again. It's one of my favorite stories. It goes like this. Once upon a time, a family of mice were living in the bottom of a piano. And every morning around the same time, their world was suddenly filled with the most beautiful music ever. And they would simply sit. You want to play some music, Chris? We didn't plan this, by the way. Just play some nice music. Think of the mice just sitting there enjoying this beautiful music. Okay, that's good. And they would sit and enjoy, and they would start saying to themselves, where does this beautiful music come from, right? And they would think, well, there's obviously a great player that is producing these. They couldn't see the great player, but there's a great player out there producing that wonderful music. Well, along came this smart little mouse and said, you know what? I don't believe there's a great player out there. I think we can explain it. So he crawled up into the piano, and he came across some strings, and the strings were vibrating. He discovered the secret. He went back to the other mice, and he said, there's no great player. That beautiful music is just caused by vibrating strings. And the other mice started thinking, well, maybe he's got something there. I don't know. Still loving the music. Well, another little mouse, even smarter, came along, and she said, I think there's something even more than that. So she went further into the piano, and she discovered the vibrating strings, but then she discovered there were hammers hitting the strings, causing them to vibrate. She went down and said to the mice, there's no great player. It's just hammers hitting strings that are creating the music. And the mice started thinking, well, maybe there's something to this. A third mouse said, no, what? I can explain this even more. And he went even further into the piano. And he discovered that there were rods that were pushing the hammers, causing the hammers to hit the strings, causing the strings to vibrate, which created the music. And he came back and said, there's no such thing as the great player. It's just a myth. We've explained it all. And the other mice started thinking, well, maybe he's right. Obviously, we can't explain it. There is no great player. They stopped talking about the great player. They stopped even listening to and appreciating the music. And yet, every morning still, the great player not what I was going for, but yeah, you nailed it. That's great. The great player continued. You can understand. I think a lot of you can probably understand what that's all about. That's an analogy, or it's a parable about faith, about who God is. You know what? We can explain so much in our world, and I'm all about science. I really am. I think we should be following the science. I want to learn about why weather patterns happen. I want to learn about how old this world is. I want to learn about all the civilizations that have existed. I want to learn about how the human body works. I want to learn about how the mind works. I want to push the boundaries. I want science to teach us, to tell us more about our planet, our world, our universe, because the more that we know, the better off that we are. We should always, the idea that faith and science should never be together, to me, is ridiculous. They should be supporting each other. We should be following science. We should have a curious spirit that's always wanting to learn more. But to me, there's still a threshold there that we can't quite cross. Love. Where does love come from? We all feel it. We know what love is. Where does love have its origins? Or I look at how complicated, how beautifully complicated our world is, how beautifully complicated the human body is. It is truly amazing. Where does that come from? To me, it still comes from this idea that there is a great player. There is a great player out there. We are about to enter the most beautiful season of the year, the season of spring. And over the next little while, believe it or not, the flowers are going to come up, the birds are going to return, the snow is going to be gone, and we're going to experience new life and regeneration and resurrection again. And I want you to really enjoy it. I think that we need two things in life. We need a spirit of curiosity that always wants to learn and seek and understand. But don't lose the spirit of wonder, because approaching the world with wonder, with an open heart and an open mind, not necessarily having to explain it all away, but just to sit and listen to the beautiful music that is being played everywhere around us, to me is a way that we connect with the great player. William Blake, writer, poet, said this, and I love this. What is faith? To see the world in a grain of sand, and heaven in a wild flower, to hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in every hour. So, the three roots of a rooted life that produce these kind of trees, faith or love, think about the islands and the people that you love that keep you secure and you can always come back to, the 3-year-old in each of us. Hope, think of the battleground between spring and winter and how spring always wins in the end. And finally, faith, having a spirit of wonder as we approach the world. Whew. That's all I got. So that's our fruits of the Spirit. It's been an amazing 10 weeks to do this together. I've really enjoyed this series, and I just want to say thank you to all the other staff who've decorated and written music for it and created great children's programs around it. I think it's been a really amazing a really amazing series. So, amen. I didn't ad-lib the prayer. So let's take a moment and let us unite our hearts in prayer. God, there are so many blessings around us this morning, we can scarcely count them. All we can do is say thank you. Thank you for this community, alive with the energy of this church family. Thank you for the enthusiasm of our children and our youth. Thank you for the shared experience and wisdom of those who have always made church a part of their lives. Thank you for the gifts of music that fill this place every Sunday, for our choir and their faithful service to the worship life of our church. Thank you for our staff and leaders who bring vision and leadership to our congregation. We thank you for all the ways that we make the gospel real through the outreach gifts that we freely share with others in our community. May you continue to bless the life of this congregation and inspire us to daily live out the fruits of the Spirit as we all work towards building the world that Jesus envisioned for us. And now we take a moment to focus not on what is going on around us, but what is going on within us. We all have our own personal prayers today that we have brought with us to worship. We all have someone in our hearts that we want to pray for today. May we know that the act of prayer is an act of love. It's also an act of intention, to be living prayers of healing and hope to one another. So hear now the prayers that we bring to worship. God, hear our prayers. Send us forward today inspired by all that we've seen and heard, committed to the fruits of the Spirit, ready to celebrate the season of spring, the season of Easter. Might we realize love and hope and faith. And hear us now as together we offer the words of the Lord's Prayer. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us online. Thank you to our kids today. You made it. You sat through an entire service. Proud of you. And I almost didn't come into church because I was spending so much time at the bake sale table. There's so many good things out there, so please come back and support our youth group. We're going to sing our last hymn, and then Nancy's going to come up and lead us in our benediction. Our closing hymn, My Love Colors Outside the Lines. Let's stand and sing together.
world with a bold and daring and courageous spirit, to live your faith with purpose and with joy.
The world needs exactly what we have to share, hearts of love, faithfulness, and peace.
And may God, who is in all and for all, bless you on your journey always. Amen.